Welcome out to another episode of It's All Been Trek Before, this time the Last Outpost. Yeah, meeting those Ferengi. That's happening here. This one recorded live at Mad Lab Theater. Speaking live at Mad Lab Theater, coming up fairly soon. It might be a few weeks away, but you can get ahead of it. It's All Been Done Radio Hour, old time serials, new style, lots of fun. Five, that's right. Backed it, boop, 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 back that up, 5 o'clock next month. MadLab.net, get those tickets live at Mad Lab. Also, speaking of the Ferengi, they like to make that money. So do we. And they like to sell things. They like to shop. You like to shop? You can do that and support us at IABD. Get that IABD swag. You can go to Amazon.com/shop/IABD Presents. Or just go to the shop page at IABDpresents.com. Get t-shirts. Get, what's the pop button on the phone? Pop socket. Get a pop socket. Everybody's got them. You don't have a pop socket? You're missing out. All kinds of cool stuff there. I've got a t-shirt. Actually, I need to get a new one. Go get those there. All kinds of cool stuff. Also, patreon.com/IABD. Another way to support us. Go there. New levels. Top level 25. Lowest level $2. You get exclusive content there. All kinds of great stuff. I sound like a Ferengi right now. Let's talk about the Ferengi on the Last Outpost on It's All Been Trek Before. Welcome out to another episode of It's All Been Trek Before. We're here live at Mad Lab for Friday Night Afterwards. We appreciate you being here. We are here to talk about the Next Generation episode, the fourth one, The Last Outpost. We should introduce ourselves. The regular people are here. This is Steven.
Okay, the regular Keith, who's going before Marianne, I guess.
Well, Marianne usually goes after the three of us, but she can go anywhere she wants. I'm Jimmy-Jerome.
And I'm Marianne.
Who's become a pretty regular person on this podcast. First impressions. Let them out.
My thought was, gosh, I don't remember Ferengis acting like this. Because they don't. But
they do. They tone them down, but they do.
Yeah, they were way over the top.
Yeah, I actually liked that aspect.
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was interesting and definitely immediately more alien than most species we encounter.
True.
Right.
I agree.
I think it was an interesting choice for that. I have some more detailed notes about that later, but yeah, and I vaguely remember that being like the screenshot with the screen capture of what I remember them acting like, kind of like the little, at the end. Just
the hissing?
The hissing posture, I don't think I actually really hissed, but just sort of like the ape-like jumping around and kind of cowering and kind of...
So the three Ferengi that were on the planet, Jake Dengle, who doesn't even have an IMDb picture, so I'm assuming he doesn't have...
Oh, I thought that was the name of the Ferengi.
No. No. Jake Dengle played Mordok, one of the three scientists. This is the thing he's second best known for, after a movie called Ironwood, where he played Pee-wee. I don't know, he's got 27 credits.
Ironwood.
Right?
Then we had Kayron, portrayed by Tracy Walker, who's best known for his roles in Repo Man.
Oh, Tracy Walker. Yeah, great character actor.
He was in Repo Man.
Batman.
He was Bob the Goon in Batman, the 1989.
Oh, right.
He was Moloch in Conan the Destroyer.
Joker.
The Raggedy Man.
The Librarian in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he's a great character.
176 credits. Seemed like some pretty important ones.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the one most of us recognize, Latek, was played by the great Armin Shimmerman.
Okay, I was going to ask. So he was named, and it wasn't Quark. So
correct.
Therefore,
Wait.
Yeah, I don't learn.
Actually, I don't know.
Quark is a
Who
little
is
more
this last guy we just talked
Armin
about?
Shimmerman.
I know Tracy Walker really well.
So Armin Shimmerman plays Quark, who is a lead character on Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
I thought Quark was
A series
played
from
by
the
Richard
1970s?
Benjamin.
what is
I
he?
beg to differ here.
We did that episode. Now we're talking about Star Trek.
Okay,
Quark is a Ferengi, and he's a lead character in DS9.
gotcha.
Same actor, different
So that's
Ferengi
why.
character.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's interesting to me because he was the leader of the three scientists, it seemed. So the first time we meet the Ferengi on screen, Armin Shimmerman is front and center in that interaction, that actor, who will then later play such an important, definitely the Ferengi we most learn about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who best establishes their culture. Although in Deep Space Nine, there's a bunch of reoccurring Ferengis that we'll get to meet and learn about, including... there are several episodes that are just Ferengi episodes.
I don't remember if I ever got to any points where they showed Ferengi females on...
They did.
Yeah, they do.
But mostly
Yes.
just Moogie, Quark's
And
mother.
just from the neck up.
Okay.
No, Quark's mother Moogie is very rebellious.
So
and
she wears
clothes, which embarrasses Quark to no end.
All right, so I think we
He's
should...
very unhappy about it.
Since we're at that point,
Sure.
I didn't make the note. It seems like the way that they phrased that sentence made it sound like the women prefer
Yeah.
to be unclothed.
Yes.
And they're forcing, like, they're thinking humans are
Yes.
forcing them to be dressed.
Correct.
So,
That is how it's portrayed.
To be
the
fair,
best of my knowledge.
yeah, and I think that's actually, because we really actually do force everyone here.
I mean, I'd rather not wear clothes.
I also wrote, so does the FCC and the MPAA.
Marianne, are you with me? You'd rather
They
not wear
especially
rather
force
be
people to wear
naked all the
clothes.
I mean, I've been naked on the stage before.
oh, right. That
As
too.
soon as we're done here and I get home,
Naked.
Naked
I'm gonna be
time.
naked, and at least one of the people in the audience here is gonna be naked or close to naked with me.
Which one?
I'm talking about you, honey.
At least one.
Okay.
You'll be close. And then I feel like later,
You.
and I
you.
didn't take the note on it, but the Ferengi are almost accusing the Enterprise folks of being communists.
Sound like it.
Which,
Yeah.
which I think both those ideas that the Ferengi are espousing are very opposite of. They're kind of twisting it. The one is twisting it like, well, you force women to wear clothes. Like, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And the other one is the Ferengi are supposed to be the enemy or whatever here, and the capitalists. But we're identifying with the people that are the good guys, and I know we do. And we're not. Obviously, anyone listening to this podcast knows
Yeah.
we're pretty leftist. But I think these are pretty.
Speak for yourself.
Sorry, Mein Capitan.
Oh, Jesus.
But I feel like
You know you voted for 45.
Oh God, no! But you can be conservative and not vote for 45.
the same way the original series kind of worked in.
The allegories.
Yeah,
Right.
the
Holding up the mirror.
Yeah, this was very much like
Oh.
in 1988 or 87 or 88. Either way, Reagan's president or Bush's. Those were not
This was 87.
the communists
So this
being the
was
good
Reagan.
guys and talking about they make people wear clothes. Those were the exact opposite of.
That's
Well,
a,
They were really good.
Sorry, Keith.
no, I was going to say that's a very good way of putting it. Like they're holding up the mirror. It's just.
Well, yeah,
but
it's capitalism to the extreme.
But it's yeah. I mean, it's also a great way to represent an alien culture properly in the sense
Yeah.
of this is the way that they would actually believe things. This is in some ways it's holding up two mirrors in the sense of this is the way that we tend to look at other cultures too. We tend to say that they're doing this to these women. They're doing this or they're doing
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
They don't do the things we do. Therefore, they are.
The Ferengi aren't ashamed. They are who
Yeah.
they are. They're proud of who they are, and they think we're the backwards ones.
Well, and I think that's kind of what the episode's saying. It's kind of like, are you sure they're the bad guys? Because
No,
which I think is great.
I mean, we learn a lot about the Ferengi culture going forward, and the Ferengi culture starts to undergo some revolution once they have a lot more interaction with the humans. But I think they're one of the best developed species in Star Trek, one of the most complex, one of the most interesting, and I feel like a lot of those elements are present right here in this first appearance. I mean, I didn't give a first impression of this episode, but I liked it a lot. I really appreciated the portrayal of the Ferengi, this introduction of the species that was very well developed. Character actors making, I thought, terrific choices with the making themselves feel very non-human.
Yeah.
And I get, like, I was trying to think, like, this is a big empire that's around. Why don't they know the humans better? Because they definitely seem like they haven't much contact. But then I thought about it. Their whole thing is commerce and capitalism. The humans don't use money anymore. Why would they even bother coming into that part of space?
They would trade.
They're trading with the Orions, they're trading with the Klingons, they're trading with the Romulans. They wouldn't trade with the Federation.
Well, one of the big things that
I mean, if the
mentioned-
Federation isn't interested in trading with them, and they're not going to trade with the Federation. They're going to go. There's a lot of other races out there they can be trading with.
But one of the things that they said in their rundown of why the humans were bad was that they wouldn't trade with undeveloped cultures. Where
Yeah.
Ferengi
Yeah, I
were
thought it
saying,
was
yeah,
interesting, too.
they're just
Well,
like,
they were
why would you not
criticizing
do
the Prime
this?
Directive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. Why would you not do this? We do this.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do.
Because they can make
That's-
profit and
right.
exploit those cultures.
Exactly. So,
And it strikes me that after the original series, the Orions kind of disappear. These seem like the Orions taken up a degree. They also deal in slaves and stuff, but not as prevalent. This just feels like same way the Klingons got a revamp. They feel like, oh, we're going to revamp the Orions, but this time we want to add putty to their heads and make them look even more, and not sexy when they dance, because the Ferengi females look just as sexy as the Ferengi males, let me tell you, which is, zero.
At this point, as much as I enjoyed the Ferengi anti-establishment thoughts, I wasn't that crazy about them.
You know, like
So far, yeah.
well,
yeah.
yeah.
I was, because I remember the Quarks and his gang of people That's why I was taken aback by this version of the Ferengi where they were just kind of acting out of turn, just out of like way over the top. And I get it, and I understand it.
First appearance.
It's their first appearance. I got to nail it home that they are not humans. We get it. However, it was a little bit much for me. I kept going, oh, come on.
So my justification, and it could be...
I feel like I have the same one. Go ahead.
Quark's kind of a black sheep of his people. As much as he wants to be a capitalist, he has not lived up to those ideals to the point where he's, kind of an outcast, and he's living among other species because of it. And those Ferengi we see are Quark's kin and other people he interacts with, whereas this is maybe more typical representation of the race.
My thought was that they would, after this contact, they would learn to adapt to human mannerisms, so to better blend in with them, especially if they're going to be on a space station trying to trade with them. So they're going to be kind of like...
Not to get too deep in the spoilers, because we don't want to spoil everything right off the bat, but we get to see in Deep Space Nine a Grand Negus with a different set of values, a new leader for the Ferengi people. We get to see the first Ferengi in Starfleet and what he's willing to do. Not Quark, obviously, a different Ferengi. We get to go through that development of that culture, and so I do think you're right. I do think that once they come into contact, of course it affects them in certain ways.
Well, I'm not even talking about just their values. I'm talking about just like the way that they physically behave around to speak and not like jump around like apes and stuff. So it's just like...
I mean, to anyone, if anybody had people acting like that around them, I think they would be like, calm down.
Yeah.
You need to go in timeout for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when you can learn to control yourself, then you can come back and talk to me.
Right.
Well, I think the point that these are like a particular subset of Ferengi or whatever. Again, we always talk about how these planets are like, it's a desert planet.
Oh, right.
And it's an ice planet, which again is a Star Wars thing too, but it doesn't necessarily make sense. Also, it's like, oh, we're on a planet. There's 30 people. That's it. But that makes sense that these might be some weird Ferengi. These might be the weirdos.
It could be just that one country of Ferengi.
Yeah.
I was already in the opposite. Quark
Which brings me around to, and I know you guys know I hate this, I hate the testing thing. Oh, we're meeting an alien race. Let's test them. We're going to take these random ones and these random ones, and we're only 4 episodes into it, we're on our second test. Do not like it.
Wait, wasn't it a test though?
We'll get to that in a
Well, he says it was a test. Yeah.
Okay, I might have been looking.
That's what I was like. I was waiting for it. I was like,
looking down.
Smoking. It was a smoking gun.
Even if you were looking down, it was words.
I want to talk about that,
something.
but I think before.
And then he said, "This is the last outpost of testing." No, he
That's
didn't say
what
that.
No, he said patterns of force.
He did. I wrote that down. That was fast. That was
I used on the original series. No, I do want to get into that, but before we leave the Ferengi behind, because there's just a little bit more, I want to mention Mike Gomez played Damon Tar. He will play another Damon in another episode of Next Generation. He's best known for Heartbreak Ridge and The Big Lebowski and The Predator and Get the Gringo. He's got a handful of credits. I also think while we're on the Ferengi, we should do our fashion segment.
Fashion.
They wore a bunch of furs and stuff.
Yeah. And metal.
But not gold.
Yes.
They didn't waste precious resources.
Huh.
I mean, they go for the latinum, which is like super gold. I thought I liked their costumes. Again, I think they were good representation. The other costume thing I wanted to... Oh, Worf's hair.
Oh my God!
Nobody else's hair got messed up, and Worf's hair was messed up the whole time they're on the planet.
Well, it's the bald wig. What can you do? Just whoosh.
They couldn't just
Data had a wig too.
But not a bald, like the partial.
I think it just reveals that Worf has a Klingon comb over, right?
I mean, they all do. All the Klingons do. Sorry. Now we can get to what you were talking about. Being tested, yes. See, in this, I know it's trite and repetitive, but I still thought this was one of the better examples of it.
I didn't.
No?
It didn't annoy me as much because the guy again seemed to be, and I'm gonna.
The Portal, Daryl Henricks.
Yeah. This is going back to the animated series when you had one of these creatures. It was like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, you're doing the right thing. Instead of, I'm still gonna kill you. Although he did say that, didn't he say he was gonna kill the Ferengi?
Yeah.
Can you give me the context and the quote of him saying test? Like, what did he say to them about that?
He had multiple quotes where he said he was walking up to him and said, "Is it this or is it this?" And then he walked closer. You didn't answer me. Is it this or this?
You must answer my challenge.
And then I thought he more or less said to Riker, like, oh, you passed the test.
Yes,
Okay,
he did.
that is the thing. Because I mean, I think that if this, it seemed like
Fear
a.
is the mind.
Well, I don't think the whole episode was a test. I think the test was just at the end.
I want to say that the going back to fashion really quick.
Yeah.
The Ferengi had very nice fingernails. They were painted.
They almost looked like
Blue.
teal or silver or something
Yeah,
like that.
they were painted blue.
Yeah, I thought
like
that, and I don't know, again, while we're on species and all that, and we can get into our top 5 species.
Yeah, let's do that while we're
that.
here.
But very quickly before we get on, I thought when they were on the view screen, I thought the computer kept really focusing on their bad teeth.
Yes.
That's the camera.
Oh my
work.
God.
No,
Was that
was
supposed to make them
bad.
more evil?
I think so. I think for the like camera direction, they kept
Yeah.
This
like
was
panning.
directed by Richard A. Kola. I did not like his directing. I did
Yeah.
not like the big
Is that-
face.
is that what they call him?
Richard A. Kola. C-O-L-A.
Ricola. Yeah.
And he looked. he-
Ricola.
Oh my God!
God.
How did you beat me to that? I was like, I was like,
No, I didn't like his
Almost had it.
direction. I thought there were some really weird shots on the
When
bridge
the
with the giant Ferengi.
when
I have
the
some thoughts on that, too.
Ferengi popped up. It was like he was behind a white screen. I was like,
Well, I
"You
get that because
see
he didn't
this?"
want to show a visual at all. The Ferengi didn't want to show his visual at all.
Okay.
So he's not going to let him look at his bridge. And he
Yeah,
was
that was
clearly
weird.
checking out our bridge.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he
This-
did a weird thing where like he looked into the screen like he could see further into the screen by getting
I
closer.
think he could.
Like,
Yeah, not closer, but
that's
just
how
trying to
vision
pick up the
works. If you
details.
like get closer to the screen, you're like, there it is.
I thought it looked like he was trying to look around the corner as
Yeah,
if he
exactly.
could look
That's what it
inside the
looked
TV
like.
kind of.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
We're
haven't had
doing-
holographic technology
Yeah.
since Discovery.
Remember doing that as a kid sometimes? Like,
Yeah,
can you
exactly.
do, like,
I love you, Keith. I didn't know that.
I hope you love your husband.
No, the whole like that's a really cute kid story that I had never heard before.
Aw.
well, yeah.
The Trek brings out the best.
That's what this podcast is for.
So, Steven, you wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
races.
So since we're live here, please hold your applause to the end. We ranked our favorite non-Earth species so far, or I know I did.
I did too.
I didn't do
So-
the
I'm
homework.
working on it right now.
I guess we can talk on
So
it
far.
as we go through.
So far. Are we
So my
you
my
do
top
yours
5 starting at 5. The Horta.
Okay.
Loved it. Not a carbon base. It was a silicon base.
That's a good one.
The Medusans, because
Wait, are we going by sexiness right now? Is that
No.
what
no, we're not
is-
into that. That's
oh,
coming up.
Oh, all right.
Steven's the only one that ranked that.
On the sexy one, I have honorable mentions before I even get into my top 5. So the Medusans, I have 4 from Is There Truth No Beauty, and this is so far to where we are so far. The Excalbians. Does anyone remember them?
No, remind us.
The name sounds familiar, but I can't
That
remember
would
what
be
they
the
look
rock creature from the Savage Curtain,
Oh, that's a good one. That
Yeah.
was almost
Which-
an honorable mention for me.
which is a tough one
like.
because
Was that with the testers? That thing
yes,
was like, yeah.
I
right,
didn't like him
okay.
as a tester, but I loved the way he looked.
Right.
And
right.
that's a tough one because that's just the form he decided to take.
For sure.
But that wasn't. But I love that form, and I wish every Star Trek show had that kind of creativity, especially season 3.
That was 7th place for me, so I didn't
all right.
quite make my
there
list.
you go. Number 2, the Romulans. Everyone knows I love the Romulans.
Ah,
Number 1, Vulcans. Come on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's.
So,
so
that is my non-sexy.
my list is quite different from yours.
Okay.
Let's start with honorable mention. The Cations, Maress.
Oh, nice.
Because we're going with what we know before. So mine's a combination of animated and original.
Sure, yeah.
In number 5, I have Sylvia and Karab, the wizards from Cat's Paw.
Oh, that's a good one.
The little tiny,
little ones at the
yeah,
end.
little
That's
ones
a
at
good
the end.
one. Yeah.
Number 4,
I thought
watched
about
that
that,
at
but
some
I
point.
never
I
got to
loved
the
them so
creatures.
much. Number 4, I had the Melkot from Spectre of the Gun.
A good-looking alien.
Yeah, I liked that a lot. Number 3, I had the Kazinti from the animated series because Space Cats.
That's another good
I mean,
one.
come on.
These are good.
Number 2 was kind of my Romulan / Vulcan since they're an offshoot, and specifically Savick. Kirstie Alley's
that's a good one.
Savick.
That's a very good one. These are good.
And then number 1 is the Orions. Not because they have I don't approve of the slavery, but their girls are hot.
Yeah, I'll get into that when I get
The Orions.
my
what
other-
was?
Vina, Orion slave
Okay, I was going
girls.
to say like the
I was talking specifically about the females. The males were stupid.
the stereotypical / archetypical like green alien woman.
Yes.
That
Yep.
think Star Trek.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep.
So that's my list. I didn't do a separate sexy, but obviously sexy played in if the Orions are at the top.
Keith, Marianne, do you guys have?
We're currently working.
I agree
on
with
mine.
what you've said so far.
All right,
It's
then I
interesting.
can I'll get to my
I
women
just
of.
say Klingon, Orion, Vulcan is my race.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like the Ferengi more after being
I know.
refreshed with this, and
I definitely put Ferengi's honorable mention here.
it's I mean,
liked them a
more
lot.
like the concept of what they're doing, not necessarily the execution of this first episode, but
I'm
But it's up
pretty
until
forgiving
now,
for a
so.
first season.
yeah.
I'm not a fan of Klingons. I mean, not just because they're the enemy of the Federation. I'm just not interested. But maybe I'll get more interested as we go through.
I like.
I mean, do you remember Lursa and Bietor?
No.
The sisters?
No. All right.
You don't? Oh my! Oh wow!
Oh,
you're gonna.
they're very,
You're,
very
you're gonna
prevalent.
be, you're gonna be sold.
TOS.
You're gonna be sold.
Yeah. That might change your mind. 'cause-
I'm in my Kirk wraparound.
And then
everybody.
Kaylor, Worf's baby mama.
Oh. Oh, all right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I like Worf and B'Elanna certainly, and
Oh, B'Elanna Torres.
Yes.
She's only half Klingon, but I like
right.
her.
Well, so it's Worf, right? I mean,
No, he was just raised
No,
by
he's-
humans.
I thought they got
He
him.
was adopted by humans and raised in Russia.
I was going to ask about
Raised
that.
in Russia,
That's
of
what
course.
it was.
Well,
That's what
like
it
He
was.
probably knew
My little
Chekhov's
old lady.
grandchildren.
Little old lady
Well,
from
his
Leningrad.
parents, her mother is like a little old lady. We will see his human parents, the Rosenkos, in an upcoming episode.
But in the modernized sense of Klingons, what they do them in these later series, I kind of like what they're.
I like the Klingons a heck of a lot more in Deep Space Nine. Again, I think they're developed a heck of a lot more in Deep
That's
Space
Right.
Nine.
Right.
So far, though, I'm not crazy about it.
They're developed a lot in Next Gen, though.
Oh.
The Klingons have a lot of
Cardassians are pretty funny.
But
to
we
me.
haven't seen them yet.
The Kardashians?
I love the Kardashians.
Without the H.
Cardassians.
Yeah, it's just
They show up in Next Gen before we get to DS9.
makes sense. But the
Bajorans, I love the Bajorans.
the mannerisms, just how can I say like dickish they are? Just something about the way that they always like that face they make.
Gul Dukat and Garrick separately are two of my favorite Star
Can
Trek
I add
characters. Period.
Betazoids?
Kardashians are they?
Both
Are they
Kardashians.
too
Yeah,
much
they were the.
human-like?
That's
Yeah.
Deanna, right?
What?
Okay, then
Yeah.
top of my list.
Betazoids?
Betazoids.
She's only half. But
I know, but I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just like
You
Spock.
asked for races.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
my top race is Betazoid. Then
That's pretty good.
Vulcan.
You know, the Betazoids also are
was
naked a
your
lot.
Yeah, I know.
They get married naked.
That's why I like it.
Oh, nice.
Well, my top would have to be Vulcan, of course.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Betazoids can always be mentioned because it makes me think, I'll be your Betazoid. Come on.
Yep. Honestly, I don't think Vulcans would have made their list on their own. I just combined them with Romulans because Saavik, according to the books, is half and half.
Sure.
Half Vulcan, half Romulan. And she's super hot as Christy Alley.
So my honorable mentions: the Terrans from the Mirror Universe.
The Mirror
mean the
Universe
Earthlings?
humans. Yes.
Uh,
Mirror Universe humans.
Mirror Universe. The Captain's Girl.
are they called Terrans?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Or-
like the Marvel term for Earth people.
Yeah.
It's
and-
a common term because Terra
Yeah.
means
Technically,
Earth and
I
blah,
get to
blah,
use I get to use Uhura here.
blah. Sure.
I ranked them too low. Now that I've realized this.
Now that you realize you her as a Terran.
Yes. Yeah. Now because she's.
But do we ever see? We saw her very, very briefly.
We saw her in the Terran garb.
We saw Terran
Oh, you're
Uhura in a
right.
jail cell.
You're right. She was just
very
screaming.
briefly.
Yeah.
She looked like she could kick my butt.
Right. So remind me what the Terrans were. Then I don't.
Just the,
Mirror
humans in
episode?
the Mirror Universe.
So.
Oh, right.
Spock with the goatee.
They literally
No,
were the Earth.
Spock was only half Terran. Kirk and McCoy and
That's
Sulu
fair.
and everybody.
Okay,
yeah.
I remember now. I'm sorry. That makes more sense. They actually were from Earth. That's the reason
Yeah.
why they Terrans.
My next honorable mention: the Vulcans, T'Pring.
Obviously.
Yes, sure.
You got to throw Saavik in there too. Come on.
Yes, I feel
Kirstie
bad.
Alley's
I
Saavik,
feel
not
bad.
Robin Curtis
No,
Saavik.
I feel bad. I forgot about Saavik. I would have changed my.
And
rankings.
Valkyris when we get to her.
The Eminarians.
Remind me.
Eminarians. Do you remember them?
No.
This is Taste of Armageddon. So it's Barbara Babcock essentially just
Of
waiting
course.
outside, sensing them beaming down, and then telling them, "By the way, you got killed in a computer program." But so sexy doing it.
I mean, I liked Barbara Babcock.
She's great. Much sexier in this than in Return Tomorrow and as the voice, and she
Of
did a
course.
couple other voices.
Yeah.
All right, now my top
Sorry about
five.
those. Yeah.
This is not a surprise. This is why the Romulans are so on my other list. The Romulans number 5, basically because the Romulan commander.
Oh, absolutely.
And by that I don't mean Mark Leonard, much as I love him, but Joanne Linville.
I mean, I'm pretty straight, but Mark Leonard, I would do him.
Good looking guy.
Oh, so was that from the episode where Spock was sort of going undercover, sort of, or
Both, yeah.
Spock was
yeah.
sort
They
of like
had
kidnapped and kind of like
some kind of
yeah.
Vulcan Romulan sex thing happened. Number 4, I know this won't be popular to you, Jimmy-Jerome. Well, you might agree with this. You might be okay on this. The Ardannans,
Remind me.
the Cloud Minders.
Yeah, they were attractive. I just didn't.
I think
just
you
don't
go
like
with me
that
on the
episode.
attractive.
Well,
You just
one of the daughters or something,
Droxine.
right? There.
Yeah,
And then I love Vanna, who was the
I'll give you both of
Yeah.
those. I just
Yeah.
didn't like the episode.
the Skolosians.
Why can't I think?
Why are you having to remind me of all of
This is so weird, isn't it? We went through all this stuff. It's
I
like,
had to Google races in Star Trek to pick up
This
my
is wink
list.
of an eye. one of my favorite moments where
the ones who are so fast, like
that's the one where
Flash
Kirk's
people.
putting on the boots after the commercial break and she's brushing her
Okay,
hair.
so both her and Barbara Babcock's race both look human.
They
You're
do,
just picking human looking.
but they're from other planets.
Yeah.
They're other species.
Yeah.
If I was sped up like a Scalosian,
I mean, if I was
I'd
going
be
sexy, I would
really
Not
slow
here.
right now.
Yeah.
There's got to be
green skin and the blue skin and the. I mean, honestly, I think we haven't got to them yet, but Trills might be my sexiest Star Trek race. Those spots that go all the way down,
I like them.
very sexy. Worf Mary's one,
Number 2, you already touched on this, the
Yeah.
Orions.
of course.
Which I thought about this because Vina is my favorite, but not as the Orion girl, as the blonde.
Human, yeah.
Yeah, which the cute little blonde I hang out with just left the room, but
I think I like the idea of the Orions more than what we've seen.
yeah,
I really like the Orion in the Star Trek 2009 movie,
yeah.
played by Rachel Nichols.
Of course, Susan Oliver, she'll always be a favorite of mine.
So
palate cleanser.
the one that was blind that had the
Yeah, Diana Mulder.
yes, she's on my list.
What
That's
was
a good one.
Really?
Not
She's
human.
a Medusan, but that's a good
Yeah.
one.
What was the
Medusan,
context? What
that's
she
it.
looked like? I remember the.
Oh, she wasn't a Medusan. She just couldn't.
No, she just hung out with the Medusans.
Yeah, she hung out with the Medusans, the ones that
I think she was human.
You open
Was
the
she?
box
Yeah.
and it was gloom,
Probably.
gloom, gloom,
Could be
gloom,
wrong.
gloom, gloom.
Now,
remember.
Marianne,
have it
I
yet.
do have to ask:
Original series.
Diana Mulder in original series or Diana Mulder next gen are equal?
Original series.
Yeah.
I have to.
I think she was more attractive then. I'm just asking because I do
She-
like Pulaski.
I do like her. I
Oh,
do
she's
have-
Pulaski?
Yeah.
Yes, I do have problems with her though.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in season 2 of Next Gen.
Yep.
All right, my number 1, the Kelvins.
Why can't I do this? It's like there's so many things.
I had to
Google it.
double check, although Scalosian stayed in my mind. Kelvins
Kelvin
is
timeline,
the one where they
folks?
crush
No.
the cube.
Oh.
By any other name?
I certainly remember the scene of Kirk going, "Oh God, it wasn't." It was.
It was the hot lady.
Yeah.
It's the one where it's like, oh, is this what kissing is?
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right.
Of course, when
Still
I Google Star
humanoid,
Trek
though,
Kelvins,
right?
all it does is come
So
up with,
it's Barbara Boucher.
Oh,
who-
Sansa.
Yeah.
The
Barbara,
girl that looks like Sansa.
right. Barbara Boucher, who,
Turn that picture around.
beautiful. Still beautiful.
Wow,
Sansa
she
Stark.
really does look like
That's Sansa
Sansa.
Stark.
She's still with
I
us.
brought that up when we talked about that episode.
I don't. That's amazing.
And so they are my number 1
To make that
sexy.
connection.
I mean, I'll give you her.
Yeah,
I'll-
Barbara
yeah.
Boucher. And to go to the alien thing, not quite human or whatever, remember they struggled with their human form, and that's why the Enterprise was able to take them over. Scotty was able to outdrink the guy, and
I mean-
Kirk was able to make him jealous by banging his, or I don't know if he ever actually banged her, but he gave the impression that was going to happen, which it was.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, and this isn't across the board, but I find alien women hot. Like, I like the makeup, I like all the
Yeah.
stuff. So that's, you noticed you picked a lot of human looking
I think it's
species.
that thing.
I think
of-
I would have gone more for the alien looking.
I like the blue guy with the.
The Andorians.
The Andorians were on there.
We'll get
and
into
then-
them more in Enterprise.
Yeah.
They were on my list of not the sexy one, but the just regular. And then I was like,
Yeah, I didn't
nothing
think
about them stands out. But other than the blue, other than what stands out, the blue skin. And
I've always liked the
antenna.
Andorians, but I don't think
I
they were
do too.
developed until
Yeah,
Enterprise.
So to this point, they haven't been developed.
No,
Yeah.
and I haven't seen the episodes of Enterprise that developed them, but I know also in the DS9 novels after the series, they add an Andorian to the Deep Space Nine crew,
Oh.
and they really get into like the 4 genders, they make up the
Oh,
species
yeah,
and
yeah.
all the different relationships
That'd
and
be
things.
so cool.
It's very complex.
They bust through the binary world to make it.
It's 4 genders
Quad
for the Andorians.
dairy.
Yes. So, yeah, let's go back to the episode here, which I seem to like more than you guys.
No, I liked it. I really like the stuff on the Enterprise. I think.
Well, okay, so the part
Yeah,
I didn't like in the episode, the part I didn't like in the episode is when they're dying on the Enterprise. When Picard is just like, give them blankets because it's cold. But Crusher's like, it's going to get really cold here. It already feels cold. And then she's like, I thought about tranquilizing my son. And
Yeah.
he should get to face death. And then she doesn't even go back to her son. She just like sits down the bridge next to Picard.
Maybe
Jean,
she was too
as she
tired
calls
to get
him.
back.
Yeah, I don't care. I did not like that part of the episode.
I thought the part with everyone dying could have been handled better. You don't bring them into the conference room on the bridge.
The conference room where he didn't even let them sit down. Again, I think that was a directing
was
choice.
weird, yeah.
It
I
was
thought that
very
was weird.
crowded.
And
I
it's
did
called-
not like the directing in this episode.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
just
seemed
period.
like it was a tiny room, but then when they backed up, I was like, "Why are
They're in the conference room. They're
Yeah,
in the,
he's
with
like-
the table.
Well, all of us who've worked in the corporate world, which is all of us, at no point are we like, we should go in a conference room and talk about this. At no point are you like, oh, this will solve it.
Yeah.
No, stay on the friggin' bridge. I love that, and we've talked about. I love having the room right there, but it's just like.
I really like though that Picard was like, I'm stumped. I'm gonna ask my officers for their opinion.
And I'm cool with that. I
was
love
really
that.
cool.
But
And
I
you
didn't
don't think he should have taken them off bridge?
No, I was just like, let's
See, I was fine with that
For all
too. I
those little
think.
itty bitty not younglings, but the junior
Your
officers.
Well, Worf and Geordi are junior officers, but they get included.
Well, so
Yeah, well, here's
They're
what-
on. They must be already on like a command
So,
track training.
Probably.
on the old series, whenever Sulu or somebody left, somebody moved right in their seat.
Yeah.
Did that happen here?
Yeah. Whenever like Geordi would get up, Worf would slide in.
I
from the
saw
back.
that. Saw him like, where's he going? Oh, I thought that was really cool.
And Data and Geordi switch sides from time to time. Also, Picard's chair gives him the same readouts that they get on their panels.
Yeah.
I feel like
makes sense.
I feel like the Bridge of
Wait,
the
how
Enterprise
do you know
D,
that?
Because he
He
said,
said it.
"Oh, I see it
Oh.
too." On Mary's.
Yeah.
I feel like the Bridge of the Enterprise D is very plug and play. Like you can go to any station and open whatever set of controls,
Yeah.
which is very different from the original series. But I think that modular was very nice. Except I do think Yar has enough to do without also being the communications officer.
Yeah. What the hell?
As a security
Interesting.
officer,
Well, they don't have a separate communicate. They don't have a Uhura.
they should,
Well.
and that's.
But Yar has to play Uhura too.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's interesting because I mean, it's. I was thinking about that earlier. I didn't even write this down, but the idea of having like a seat for Troy. I mean, is that like a typical thing on most starships at this point to have like a counselor on bridge to kind of?
It's not
So-
clear. It's not clear.
So
The
yeah.
counselor, the way I always thought of it is the counselor was a benefit from the really big Galaxy class starship. They have enough people that a counselor is warranted because it's a crew comp of 1,000 and
And-
they have families. Though she was kind of the MVP this episode where
She
she's like,
added so much to the
guys,
episode."
stop focusing on the Ferengi ship. Think about the planet.
There's a
And then
planet
they kind
here.
of ignored that until somebody else
Yeah,
later
like,
said,
"Hey guys, there's a planet."
Yeah.
Funny at the beginning, I kind of laughed because I thought they were going to do like that thing where she says, "Well, I can't sense anything, so I'm
Yeah.
useless. Go
Yeah,
move
I
on,
did-
guys."
I do
But
want
she
to
came
know why
back.
she never sensed the
And then
Ferengi.
she opened a bag
Yeah.
of chips, which I thought was weird.
Honestly, Troy is my least favorite character on the Next Generation.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna just turn a lot of people off right now. But I liked that part of this episode.
You know who my least favorite is?
Who?
Riker.
Really?
What?
Man, we have all
What?
turned on you now, Mary.
I- well, I-
No.
What? The
I get
crowd
where
is
you're
turning.
going.
Settle down. It's okay. He's the Kirk of the series.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
Exactly.
Because that's the parts I like.
No, tell me what you think.
Well, I just think sometimes, well, maybe this is the same thing. Like, I like a lot of his, like, I'm taking care of the business, but sometimes he just seems so...
He had to get shot twice by the Ferengis because he was so strong.
Yeah, because he's
You're,
the
you're,
Kirk.
all right, you're doing
Because
the
he's
super,
Kirk.
super Kirk, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, I think
But
his
then he
delivery.
also had the nice temperament
Yes.
that Kirk sometimes does of like figuring out what the right thing to do was. And he was not telling Picard to shoot him up. That was just
Yeah.
Yar and Worf.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, I even wrote it down in my notes that he's like the Kirk of this series. Yes,
Yeah.
Keith.
Speak up.
Riker, I said Riker is the Kirk of this generation. He had to be shot twice by the Ferengi
I see what you're
because
saying
he was like standing there. They all got shot, and he's like slowly falling down, and then they had to shoot him again. I'm
So
like-
I like
and
these-
he was the first one up too, even though he got shot twice.
I think you have to have
He's
a
tall.
Kirk of the series. No, I think you have to have a Kirk of the series because you're bridging over the original series
Yeah.
fans.
I know.
But I like that he's not in command. I like that he's secondary. And what we're gonna get to, and I know I'm jumping ahead again, but I feel like this bears. I feel like it's been out for 30 years. It's
Sure.
okay to jump ahead. Riker will continually refuse captainship, even though he would make a perfectly fine Kirk-like captain, because he realizes he's getting value from learning from Picard. And eventually in the novels and the movies, he gets his own captainship. But I appreciate him realizing the value of another way and
Well, and
learning
Spock
from it.
also always refused.
Yeah, but Riker will be captain someday.
Right.
He just postpones it because he's going to learn everything he can from Picard first, because Picard is such a different leader than he is.
Just from a,
Whereas Spock is not postponing it; he just doesn't want to be captain. Riker wants to be captain. He just wants to be the best captain you can be, and I think once he misses that window of beating Kirk for youngest, then he's just fine refusing because he turns down a lot of offers. You know who I didn't like in this episode? I normally like them. I didn't like Data in this episode. I thought the finger trap was too stupid.
It was
I thought the phrasing was too
some of the
forced.
stuff was a little pushed on him. Data this episode.
Yeah.
It felt
little
like
bit.
they were
All right.
just giving him jokes to give him jokes that didn't really fit.
I feel like
All right.
as an android, he should have ripped that thing to shreds.
Yes.
He should have been like, whoops,
Although,
I broke it.
I will say, as a child, I didn't understand what a Chinese finger trap was and how it worked, and this episode taught me
We should
how
just
to
say,
get
we should just call it a finger trap.
I was going to bring it up.
I thought they were
It isn't really
specifically
made in
called
China?
Chinese finger traps.
Well, they are, but I mean, they weren't like.
They're originated there, right?
In this episode, they
I
still
thought,
call them
it
Chinese
looks,
finger traps.
almost looks like
That was
bamboo with a
also
pattern of
30
it or
years
something
ago.
like that.
Yeah.
So
Am I? No, seriously. Am I outside of political
I'm just
think
glad
let's
that
just
in
call
the
it-
future they're really still focused on Earth stuff. Once again, in this episode, they're
It's the opposite of the Magic Tavern, where they don't want to talk about Earth stuff. Hello from the Magic Tavern. Good podcast. Don't listen to them. Listen to us.
yeah.
Although I do listen to them. I like them.
Speaking of the people going to die on the bridge, two things. One, I thought having Troy and Crusher on each side of Picard reminded me of the penthouse.
Oh,
photo.
you know what they were doing before they passed
Well,
out.
yeah.
Did you say Penthouse Forum?
It
Yeah.
reminds me of the picture from the 70s of Penthouse founder Bob Guccione. It's him and two beautiful women and his two, I think they're Dobermans in front of him. Actually, I did that photo for a Mad Lab show too. But yeah, I was like, his two ladies are right there, and then they wake up. I also wrote Picard waking up, like, what's going on? He's speaking for all of us at this point.
Dear Penthouse Forum, I was on the Starship Bridge,
So,
and you'll never believe what happened to
I
me.
never believed these things were true on starships until it happened to me.
Obviously,
I woke up with two of the hottest advanced officers.
I think Crusher's hot. I don't really think Troy's hot.
I
Sorry.
know.
I do.
Sorry.
You don't think?
I know. I told you. Although I am still hoping they bring her back for Star Trek Picard. I don't hate her.
I don't hate her. I
Hey,
just
she's on the Orville.
Maybe she's in
I
the.
liked her in the Orville.
Yeah.
Maybe her consciousness is in the dog in the poster.
I think she's pretty.
Yes. So
I also find Crusher pretty.
I think
Yeah.
They're both pretty.
honestly, and this is, I think the outfits they put her in and her hair at this point of the series, I think in like Star Trek Generations, she's very pretty.
It's
the
like-
regular uniform with a nice hairstyle. I don't like this 80s style that they.
it's Elaine hair.
It's very glam style, and I don't like glam style.
I like the hair.
Yeah,
with the
and I
jewels
get in
in it.
debates with you about the lane hair, but I kind of get it. But I still always love it.
No, I don't like hate Elaine hair.
Right.
I'm just saying that it
Yeah.
kind of is.
Yeah, and I read something buddy just was talking about. When I was looking up the top 10 things why Kirk is better than Picard. It got into other lists, which one of them was the things that haven't aged well from Next Generation. And that was one of them was the hairstyle. I'm like, well, yeah, none of our hairstyles.
Yeah, I think this is when she looks the best.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like the blue.
Well,
too.
I really don't like her look in season 1.
Is that from one of the movies or is that
I think
later?
this
seasons?
is actually later season,
Okay.
but she does keep that uniform and look in the movies.
Well, I guess it's because of the formulaic thing they're kind of trying to force during this first season. Like let's make it look like the original series, but also let's make it look different in this.
Yeah.
Like, look,
Yeah.
we have this plain
like
clothes
counselor.
woman that is
Yeah.
like, look at the cleavage. Here we go. You know.
Yeah,
She's
so
like,
honestly,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is going to be a weird thing. I think she's looked better as she's gotten older. I didn't like the younger version of her. I like the older version of her. Like, I'm looking at pictures of her from all the movies, and I liked her a lot better.
Speaking of things from the original series, once again, I mentioned this last week, I think. The planet sets are still so cheesy.
Yeah.
The
Oh
what?
my gosh,
The
that
planet
planet
sets.
set was
I did
still-
like the Ferengis
Looked like
were
a
being
stage.
hurt on the ears
Yeah.
because of their big ears.
Oh, the
They
sets of being
set,
on planet.
yeah.
And I did like
the
that, like,
surface
they
area.
have
planet,
very
yeah.
old-
Yeah,
the
they-
super hearing when they were on the bridge too.
That's
when
funny,
like
yeah.
Data whispered something, like we heard that.
We heard that.
You
yeah.
like that or didn't?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right. Well, since we're paused here for a bit, I mean, we can go back to my actual first impression, which I didn't even say.
Yeah,
which
sorry.
was just no. I noted that they seem to be hitting their stride, like actor-wise and as the crew. There's something about the delivery, so natural and kind of when they're when they're going through their encounter of the ship, going through the procedure of what to do. Something about the way that the captain spoke just felt more natural and like he was kind of he was showing up
The
and
whole bridge crew
into it.
seemed better.
I mean, I hated
Cute.
Code of Honor, but the other 3 episodes so far, I've really liked. Like, I thought season 1 was going to be much rougher to get through, and maybe it still will be, but I did think the Geordi engineering scene was weird.
That was so weird.
Where's the chief engineer?
Where is
Is he going to mention this?
Miles?
In a second.
We will in a second.
Miles isn't chief engineer at this point.
Well, I know,
He's
but
just transporter
should
guy.
he at least be there or something?
No,
Married?
he doesn't work in engineering. He's transporter guy.
Anyway, but Jordy
But
was
we already
so
met the chief
weird, and he
engineer,
was like,
like, 2 weeks ago.
whistling and like
And Bidening them.
Woohoo!
With the Keith wanted to talk about massaging the shoulders.
Yeah.
There was
Which in
a,
the 24th century is completely innocent, so nobody
who, I mean, who knows what?
Right.
Or to deconstruct.
We don't know
what-
their relationship.
No, I mean, I'm talking about like even behind the scenes, like the direction, the acting,
Oh,
the
right.
script.
direction.
And like you said, we hate the direction in this episode.
Yeah.
Jordy seemed just really chipper.
Hmm.
And I was going to say the F word there because it was just like over, to me, it seemed over the top. The whistling that he did, like
Are you talking about flamboyant?
no. I would say that if I said that. He
Okay.
was over the top
Okay.
with just overacting. Just like,
Well,
whew. Oh my
Also, the
gosh.
thing with him hanging upside down on the planet thing.
That was weird,
That
too.
weird scene of like, what do you think? Does it look like I'm
I
conscious?
just beamed upside down.
We
The
can't,
transporters.
we can't see you. How would we know if you were conscious or not? We don't have eyes. to
We
see.
talked about the first 3 episodes how every episode he had to take the thing off, the visor off.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, poor Jordy, he's blind. So maybe they're like, okay, we established that he's blind. You got that.
Is he just like being a
But he's still a
smartass here or
fun-loving
something?
guy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Which, and I don't know where we go from here, but
I mean, I thought we already saw the seeds of why he becomes chief engineer. It just felt odd that they didn't have the chief engineer in it, and I
Yeah.
really liked the woman that was chief engineer like an episode or 2 ago.
Oh, right,
And I'm
right.
sad we don't get to see her again.
So she's just gone. So
Yeah, there'll be a couple more chief engineers between the two.
Oh, all right.
Jordan
O'Brien,
will-
right?
No, not O'Brien. He's never chief engineer on the Enterprise.
Oh, it's not until.
and he never will
Yes,
be as long as
not.
I'm around.
Right. Okay.
No, he's just like no, he doesn't get a leadership. So O'Brien.
Yeah, I was starting to get confused for a second. It is George.
So something
yeah.
else with O'Brien, and we'll get into it more later, is he's not a commissioned officer. He's Chief O'Brien. He's not lieutenant or ensign or lieutenant commander.
What is that? I mean,
So it's like a civilian serving in the military. So
Okay.
he's not in the Starfleet ranks.
were you in the military or something?
No.
Okay. Your brother, maybe?
I have a couple brothers that were in the military.
I think I saw like a picture or something. I thought I was like, wait, is that Jimmy in like the something or other?
I
But
do
no.
look similar to my brothers.
Yes.
Let's do our Wesley ranking.
What's he even
Sorry.
like?
Did we miss Wesley in this episode?
No.
Nope.
No, I didn't either. But we need to.
Wait, was he pictured during
No.
the thing?
Nope.
No.
We just
His
heard
name
about
was
him.
in the opening credits. That's all I
Huh.
Yeah, he's credit only in this episode. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how annoying is Wesley in this episode?
Gonna go 1.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
1, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
0, if anything. I mean, can you do a 0?
No.
Okay, then
No.
1.
well, I mean,
What are you
to
gonna
what
give
extent
it?
did she mention? I really missed
I
that
just
whole
thought-
thing where she.
I don't know. I was.
fact that she
I was
would
been
go back?
annoyed that he didn't like come up or anything.
So
That's-
you're
Well, he
annoyed
did-
by
that's
that.
funny.
That's not
That's-
his fault.
He didn't want to come on the bridge, and Picard was asleep, so he didn't want to. He couldn't come on the
He
bridge.
could have come on the bridge and when the Picard was asleep. He just messed with everything.
Fine. I'm gonna give him a 1 as our average. Who was the annoying person in this episode?
The monkey Ferengi.
Just
All right.
total, all of them.
Well, no,
I don't know.
That's a good. Yeah.
I'd almost say Worf a little bit, just with his constant
Damn
shoot him,
Ferengi.
shoot him, shoot him,
Yeah.
shoot him.
Did we
Yeah,
ever
alright.
get deeper into that?
No.
Okay.
So you're choosing Worf, not the Ferengi.
I think I'm more annoyed by the Ferengi though.
Okay, so Marianne is choosing all the Ferengi.
Well, that ties into something I
All
had.
the Ferengi that are on the planet.
The Ferengi scientists.
Yes.
I have
So
a-
they were scientists.
That's what they called
Bull
them.
dookie.
That's what they called them. that's what they were called in the
Hey,
episode.
I'm a doctor of love. It's the same kind of thing.
Okay, so I had already established I thought Data was annoying in this episode.
All right.
True.
Keith, who
That's a
did
good
you
one.
think was annoying in this
Well, I
episode?
mean, Marianne mentioned something that tied into something I actually have a lot of notes left, but the thing about Worf, my note was I was wondering how much of Worf's like heritage and kind of his mindset was retconned at some point or another. I mean, it's just
A lot.
It didn't
A
feel
lot.
yeah, it didn't feel like they're like trying to make him like pure Klingon, like oh we have to attack, and like later on it seemed like he was much more conflicted in his upbringing and all these other.
But
kinds of
even
Find
in
out his
GS9,
mom
he
got
still
killed
hates.
by the Ferengi or anything?
What?
Do we ever hear why? Do we ever find out? I know I'm asking for a spoiler.
Yeah.
we do find out why he hates the Ferengi.
No, he just hates the Ferengi. He still hates them DS9. I don't remember any personal backstory.
He's a racist.
Specious.
He's suspicious.
Yeah. No, I didn't realize it was anything about the Ferengi. I thought just in general, up to this point, his writing has seemed to be kind of like
He hates the Ferengi.
honors and this, and
He hates the Ferengi because they're not an honorable species.
Okay.
They're deceitful and lying.
Well, all right, that kind of makes sense. But I'm just later on, it seems like he tones down like I'm Klingons, therefore I must do this. Is all I'm
Hate.
saying.
So, what character annoyed you?
Come back to me. I had to think about that.
Steven?
I'll go with the portal guy just to stay on point for my I hate test. I hate superior beings testing me. Period.
Okay. Other notes. Keith, don't let us end this episode without you giving me an answer.
All right.
I liked at the top when Picard said enlarge, so is that the same as enhance?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Enhance.
Yeah.
That was good.
And he finally said, "Make it so."
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yes.
was great.
His
When he
catchphrase.
said that,
Yeah.
that
And
was,
he said enlarge it to the maximum.
Yeah.
So I guess they have they do have a maximum.
Oh, did you like when the Ferengi whip got erect? That's what you make me think.
I
when you
thought
talk
that
about
was an
enlarging.
interesting S&M aspect to the episode was those things.
the whip.
I have the first season Ferengi action figure and it comes with the whip. Of
Oh,
course, of
nice.
course. Why would it not?
I like that Geordi, I think, made the Supertramp reference of Hello Stranger.
Hello,
I didn't catch that.
stranger.
Yeah, Hello Stranger. Speaking of the original series and still harking back, I thought the first two cut to commercials on this were as cheesy as anything in the original series ever. The very
I'll give
first
you
one,
that.
like, well, they're locked in on us, or whatever he says. And then the second one was just cheesy. Not only the delivery, not only the line, the deliveries, and the music with it. I'm like, wow, this is super cheese.
I'll give
I
it.
feel like if I can't pick the view screen as a character being annoying,
You can pick whatever you want. You want it to be the view screen, pick the view screen.
there's that. I mean,
I would be tempted to switch to the view screen. But honestly,
So-
you know what? Instead of Data, I'm going to put the director because
that
I
is it.
really
Yeah,
hated the
there we go.
directing.
Because I want to say Geordi even because the hanging
You
upside
can say
down thing was
Geordi.
very strange, but I feel like this
You
is.
could say Geordi and still think LeVar Burton's awesome. It's fine.
There's a much longer discussion that would even have about the idea of having characters with different writers and directors and like the things they have to do that make them annoying in
Yeah.
certain episodes and others. But
Yeah.
I would say the director if I could.
Okay.
You can if you would like.
If we're
You
gonna
want
do
the
that.
director as well?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
Jimmy did it, so you can.
Yeah.
All right.
That said about the cheesiness of the stingers, I thought that the early on, we're at a standstill with these alien race or whatever, and the talk on the bridge was very Balance of Terror, Wrath of Khan,
I love
good
see,
stuff.
That's
That
part
stuff
of why
was
I
really
loved
good.
it.
That stuff I really liked.
And I liked the twist that it was coming from the planet. I
Yeah.
really liked
Yeah.
the
I like the moment where Picard's like, oh,
terms of surrender, and they're like,
They're as stuck
okay,
as
we're
we
not
are.
going to surrender.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait. He was offering to
Yeah.
But I see how they confused
Yeah.
it. Like, it was vaguely
yeah.
worded
the way
in a
Picard
good
bought
way.
time and
I like
then
that.
figured it out, I really like that too.
I
that
dug
part
this
really
whole
liked a lot.
episode.
I really liked when he was like, and then
Oh.
did the
What
cut
Marianne
him
is
off,
doing
come
is
off,
the
come
cutoffs
off.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
the kill to the neck gesture, like the
Yeah.
waving your hand at your neck, like
He's
no,
like, cut it, and then like they had a conversation, and then when they came back on, he was like, and so in.
guys, audience, please stop giving Marianne the cutoff sign. She can talk as long as she wants. There is not a person in the audience that isn't doing the cutoff
I
sign.
know,
now.
right?
Yep.
So exactly, he came back
Very well
on and
worded.
acted like it was just like the finishing his sentence, and they were like, oh, we didn't hear the rest of your stuff. So I thought that was really cute, like him thinking on his feet.
Yeah, well, you mentioned you didn't like the scientists, but you were fine with Damon Tar.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was.
He was a little more toned down, but he was the commander. So
Oh, the
yeah,
captain,
he got to
like
be.
the bridge guy. That was
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Damon,
Tar is also my favorite character in Beauty and the Beast.
So Damon is their equivalent to captain. It's a rank.
I would sing the Gaston song with it, but we can't
No.
afford
Wait,
that. I
is
guess.
that where Mailer Damon came from? Mailer Damon? Is that what Mailer made Damon
no.
actually?
No.
I don't know if
spelled
I like
different.
cards talking engineering. They can't get a hold of anyone.
Yeah.
And
That was funny.
I know Keith can relate to this because we just did a play a few months ago here at Mad Lab about somebody talking to a computer for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And Picard did the thing where he looks up. The computer's up there because that's where the voice is coming from.
Right.
And that's
Right.
just a natural inclination. And
Yeah.
I feel like people who talk to
Alexa?
yeah, I think
You got either look at the phone or you look at the
I would look at
speaker,
the-
or
I look at
whatever
the
else.
speaker.
Yeah.
I would look at the item that I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the computer
And that's what he
is
was
being
doing.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I
Well,
agree.
yeah, but the speakers on the ceiling.
I agree that it's a godlike thing, and so
Yeah,
people
it
would
is.
look
Yeah,
up.
it's just
Let's
a
look at
natural-
God.
Yeah,
No,
they're,
but I like that he's like, Jordy, go check. Riker, go check. And like,
I was like, how many people are going to send down there?
if this were a horror
Yeah,
episode,
I was-
they would be being picked off.
Well,
as
yeah.
they
I'll be right back.
It's kind of like Star Trek First Contact when everybody goes down engineering and the Borg grab them, you know?
It's another callback to the original series. Is how many episodes did we have, like, whoever was on board took over engineering because there's one person hanging out down there. I feel like that's a critical area of the ship. There should be guards. There should always be people inside taking care of stuff.
Well, clearly, as we saw again, there are no locked doors because
Right.
the kids are just going into the conference
Yeah.
room right off
Yes.
the bridge.
Yes. What the heck?
That was just to introduce the finger trap.
So the horror thing, it transitions all these notes I have here. The first one is that I like the build up towards seeing the Ferengi at all
Yeah.
the first time. So it was like the horror movie thing of like we don't want to waste the monster.
Reveal, yeah.
Well,
So-
I'm pretty sure they also established that Starfleet officers haven't seen a Ferengi.
Right.
But
But
they've
that's what I'm-
encountered
that's what I'm
their
saying.
ships, but they haven't
But they
seen
knew
them.
about them.
Right.
They've encountered their ships, but they haven't
Okay.
seen them because they don't want to go visual.
By the way, I thought their ship looked like a phone, again, that you would find in a conference room now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Yep.
it turned around,
I-
like, please mute your phone is all I wanted to say to
Yeah.
I like their ship. I like that all those windows look out the front.
Uh-huh.
I feel like the Enterprise has no windows to look
Yeah.
out the front. You look up or
Yeah,
down, but
yeah.
I like
They don't want
that.
people to know what
You
time
got
of
the
day
view
it is.
screen right there, so you can.
That's not a window. That's a video screen.
So I've also got
they're
three
not
questions
video.
The
here.
Orville has a better screen.
At least
I
one-
got 3 answers.
One of which is for Jimmy in particular.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you better have an answer.
So,
will,
yeah,
just one that
was
we can-
Picard captain a precursor for Kake commander?
No.
That was just a
Not
coincidence. then.
consciously anyway.
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, yeah,
Teak. You're talking about Teak in
Yes.
Universe Journey, yeah.
for the audience's benefit who don't know that per se, but yes. Patterns of Force. Do you think that was a callback?
No.
Another accident, just like
Yes.
Have
Wow.
you ever heard anyone say patterns of force anywhere else in your life?
No, I still think it was an accident. Sorry, Keith. Question number 3.
There
'Cause
were-
we're running out of time.
yeah, they were. Oh right, they were doing another Riker Data thing where Data first used that term. Nothing to write home about. Riker seemed to be confused. Was he? Do you think he was not familiar with the term, or was like surprised that
He
Data
was
was
more
using
surprised
it?
that Data knew.
Surprised
Right.
at data.
Oh, I thought they just don't use that term anymore.
So my super Riker comment here is that I thought he had very strong acting chops. For him to fall face first into the dirt like that.
Oh, he was eating sand.
It was just like it was like up over his nose.
committed.
Nothing moved. Nothing. He was just like, I'm fine.
Frakes is a
I feel nothing.
powerhouse.
Yeah.
He better be in Star Trek Picard. I'm sure he's directing, and he still directs constantly.
My last one was when Lieutenant Yar showed up
Yar.
suddenly. Yeah, she came in and she was like Captain Marvel riding in to save the day. Just
I
like
knew that's how
just
she was
like-
going to show up, though.
Oh, yeah.
When she doesn't show up for the longest time, I knew. Like, I don't remember this episode at all, other than the finger traps, but
Yeah.
I knew she
as
was
soon as
gonna.
I saw the finger traps, I was like, oh, it's this episode.
I didn't remember anything
Yeah.
else about it.
I have a few quick notes left.
Do it.
What's the difference between a force field and a tractor beam?
Force field goes around something.
Yeah, scope.
Tractor beam like reaches out and grabs something.
Okay. I thought they really should have yelled at the Ferengi when he was like, NCC 1701D. It's not an O, it's a 0.
It's like a phone
Actually,
number.
I think every time in Star Trek they say it, it's 1701.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever said 1701. Anybody.
It's a 0 though, right?
It is, but
Yeah,
I don't
it's-
think any character in any iteration has ever.
It's
said
the
zero.
informal like phone number thing you say when like, oh, it's 101, you know, the
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's just it bothers me too sometimes, but as people say.
I guess it's like when Colleen and I were in Cincinnati, I was like, oh, La Rosa's Pizza, 2241111 La Rosa. She's like, that's a really long number. I'm like, no, it's 2241111. She's like, yeah, La Rosa's. 2241111 La Rosa's. By the way, La Rosa's, if you want to sponsor us, that'd be awesome. I was like, no,
What's
it's
their
not La
area code?
Rosa's. Yeah.
212, of course.
513.
513.
Uh,
555.
I enjoyed the enemy within type
1701.
weather reports we got here. It's 70 below. 70 below what?
0.
On what
Don't
planet?
they use Celsius?
On what
Don't they
planet?
use Celsius?
Well,
so.
no, it's not planetary. It is.
Yeah, if it's Celsius,
a-
that's
right.
cold.
It could be
really
Kelvin.
That's not even that. If it's
Not
70
Kelvin.
It's the Kelvin timeline.
If
So
it's
it's the
70 below
Kelvin.
Celsius,
It's the
it's-
Kelvin
The Kelvin
scale.
timeline doesn't exist.
if it's
Kelvin
70 below
scale.
Celsius, it's too cold for you to even say it's 70 below Celsius.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're
You're
dead.
frozen.
It's
solid.
You're naked time frozen.
Yeah.
My alternate episodes were Ferengi After Dark, which is just the Ferengis and all their naked women. The other one,
in a full audience like this.
Yes. Was I wanted the novelty jokes to continue through the whole episode. So Data discovers a whoopee cushion. And fake vomit. And on and on and on.
You have to save that for other episodes.
Yeah, and maybe it's coming.
No, it's not.
But I thought,
My alternate episode
It's a
is
Minkman.
Letek was Quark, and then he just gets like outcast for trying to make a deal with the Federation, and then he becomes the bartender on Deep Space Nine.
That's a good one.
My alternate episode is they were asleep for just a tad bit too long, and they come back and they're really dumb.
Like Uhura after her memory wipe.
Yeah.
Like the
Oh,
whole,
you mean-
like the whole ship is just like.
My other alternate episode is
What?
my other alternate episode is Picard and Crusher totally hooked up as they were dying.
That's what I thought. I thought all three of them did.
Troy on the bridge.
Yeah.
Well, when
They
they,
hooked
first,
up on the bridge.
Yeah.
With everybody else watching.
when they first woke up,
Well,
that hand to his face was
You're gonna
very much
die.
like
Who
the
cares?
When everybody else
get to the quarters. Or
pass
something.
out first, because the heroes always stay on.
And this
awake
is the
a little
Seinfeld
longer.
part of the episode. This episode of the podcast. It's like when the plane's going down in the finale, and George is like, "I lied in the contest." It's that same thing. It's like, you know what? We're dying. Let's do this.
So, men, women of Star Trek, does women leaning on guy in engineering orgy stay for you, Steven?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody stood out to me in this one.
I'm going to stick with McDougal, the chief engineer.
Sure.
Keith, are you going to stick with Urena, or did somebody else do it for you?
Oh, wow. I guess we're going to have to stay with her. Like,
Marianne,
what
you
even
still have the
happened
blue
here?
jellyfish from Encounter at Farpoint.
Sure, let's do that.
So nobody changed. Ranking this episode, I know where I'd put it, but I'll let you guys speak first.
I would put this under the Naked Now myself. Like
Above Encounter,
Yeah.
but below Naked Now.
Because it's bringing in the Ferengi, so I think it's important.
I would have put it number one, personally.
It's
But
fun.
I will.
I would not put it number one.
Okay. Oh, I mean, of so far.
I would put it 3, but I know I'm the outlier at this
You
point.
put 3, I put it 1, and you two both would put it 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the average is 2.
Yeah.
It goes below Naked Now and above Encounter at Farpoint. Next week,
Got it.
we will be talking another episode. It's going to be
Is it the
yes,
one-
okay. You don't have to
Hang
shout
on.
it out.
Hang-
Where no one has gone before,
Oh.
where everyone accurately pegs a visiting propulsion scientist as a charlatan, but only Wesley Crusher recognizes his assistant as the real deal. We will
That
get to
isn't-
that.
I'll forget by then anyway.
That
which is
doesn't
good.
bode well for how annoying Wesley's going to be next episode.
This is the introduction of the Traveler, by the way. If you're familiar with the Traveler,
I don't remember yet.
you're.
But, I probably
we're also
will.
going to meet Yvette Picard.
Is that a daughter, ex-wife, sister? What?
You will find out.
I
next
guess
week.
so.
Yeah, I
All
can't
right.
wait.
You'll find out next week. Until then,
Live long
And my pen.
and, like the Ferengi, prosper.
they do prosper.
And live long and profit. Oh, did I miss the cut? Oh.
It's All Been Done presents.
Who's got the time?